I mean, it's a disaster if it holds towards the midterm elections. And I should note, of course, it's not alone. I mean, just take a look here. This is Gallup. This is the longest running poll. You know, Gallup has been conducting polls since my father was a kid. And my father was born in 1927, had me in his 60s. Look at this in January. Donald Trump's net approval rating, not too bad, not too great. It was at -1 point, right within the margin of error, breaking even. But look at this now. Negative 24 points, way, way down. We're talking about a drop of over 20 points in the wrong direction for the President of the United States. Minus 24 points, that's a 23-point move in the incorrect direction if you're the president. And of course, what's so important here, Sarah Seidner, is it matches the trend that we've seen with other polls. That is Donald Trump hitting his low for the second term. I was doing the count last night. I think we're up to 10 polls in sort of the last 40 days, 10 different pollsters who have said that Trump is at the lowest point he is in his second term.
I'm telling you, touching the stove. It's touching the stove. I am telling you that it's stove touching. I know it makes me sound like a supervillain when I say it. I really do think things like the people overwhelm. Listen, we live in a up time for democracy. We live in an era of narcissism, nihilism, anti-truth, apathy, disconnectedness, alienation, atomization, and a bunch of other buzzwords I could probably recite if I cared to. It's not great. You know, I think you can motivate people in a lot of ways, like Mamdani motivated people primarily through hope, optimism, enthusiasm, and so on. But right now, we got to acknowledge a big part of motivating people. We're talking fear. We're talking suffering. A lot of people are selfish little worms who will do or say anything to scamper by, especially conservatives. We all know they're cognitively deficient, illiterate. But by and large, I mean, their whole political project, what is it they say? Conservatism fundamentally is making sure that there are groups the law can protect but not bind, and groups the law binds but cannot protect, you know? They all just want to be the people whose faces are not being eaten by leopards. Every single one of them, they all sound the same. I didn't think I would get hurt by the tariffs. I didn't think I would have my undocumented workers on my farm taken away. I didn't think I would get targeted by ICE, etc., etc., etc. At the end of the day, I mean, it's a grim world, but, you know, it's going to get a lot worse if the people making the wrong choices keep feeling empowered to do so. Shame, fear, suffering, these things motivate people. Maybe not in the direction, you know, that they need to be in the long run, but in the short run, at the very least, it can guide them appropriately. That's why I've said we need to not enable people, you know? We need to bring back shame. If you're a bad person, people should make you feel bad. What does it mean if a person is bad and then all the people around them keep rewarding them with affirmation and positive social behavior anyway? You know? It's like, oh, I guess I can get away with being a bad person. It doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to affect my, like, sure, it hurts other people, but it doesn't hurt me. So whatever, right? There have to be consequences. Anyway, touching the stove. They're touching the stove.
So how does this compare to other presidents in their second term at this point in time?
Yeah, okay. So, you know, this is one of these great examples where I kind of run out of room on the slide.
You sure did.
Yeah, I run out of room on the slide, so I just put up the Republican presidents. But look, the only one who's worse for me, either among Republicans or Democrats at this point in his second term, is Richard Nixon. Of course, Richard Nixon had to wave adios amigos goodbye less than a year after this poll was taken. He was at minus 36 points. Trump at minus 24 points. That beats, or is worse, I should say, beats in the wrong direction. George W. Bush, minus 19 points. His Republican Party, of course, suffered major losses in the 2006 midterm elections. Dwight Eisenhower, plus 31 points. Donald Trump has never smelt that at all. I had to go into the archives to dig up that photo. And Ronald Reagan at plus 41 points. But again, it also is worse than Harry S. Truman. It's worse than Lyndon Baines Johnson. It's worse than Barack Obama. It's worse than Bill Clinton. Anywhere.
Probably not worse than Hoover.
Where you look, this is the second worst for a president of either party at this point in their second term, dating all the way back since the 1940s.
Wow. All right. Look, what does this mean for the midterms? Because are you seeing a trend that it's linked to how people feel about the president?
Yeah, okay. So, you know, we always say, hey, look, you know, we still got 11 months until the midterm elections. Right. That's forever in politics. So I decided to go back and look at this point in the second term. What happened? What was the trend line heading into the midterm elections? Were there any presidents who saw their net approval ratings rise by more than 5 points.
Suffering doesn't teach Ruroids anything because of fear of the word communism more. It's true. In the long run, the suffering, like, it's not enough that they know they get burned when they touch the stove. They have to know there's a better way. They have to learn about oven mitts. The Ruroids have to learn about oven mitts. And the Democrats, unfortunately, are not bringing them to the table, which is not where you'd need them, I guess. You'd want them in the kitchen, but you do need to learn about oven mitts. That being said, suffering because of Trump can still depress voter turnout. I bet you, like, a lot of these people, they're slow to learn their lessons, but eventually, enough of them suffer, and they suffer hard enough, and they, their lives get worse, and enough of them, at the very least, will not show up to vote for Trump or the Trump candidate in 2028. There is a benefit here. I'm telling you guys, there's a reason why Trump won in 2016, lost in 2020. It was largely COVID, by the way, because of the oven thing. They touched the oven. They saw there are consequences to people like Trump being in charge when things go badly. And then in 2024, he wins again, in large part, of course, because the Democrats f everything up, but also because what negative consequences have people really experienced from Trump? Like, seriously, like what? Like, Trump didn't get to do anything in his first term. Democrats stopped him, and also so did neocons. He didn't actually get to do much. He was awful, sure, but he was largely ineffective. Now he's very effective, or I guess I should say there's a pretty direct line between what he wants and what gets done, and we're all suffering. So now his popularity is plummeting.
Well, guess what, Sarah Sider? You go all the way back since Harry S. Truman. 0 out of 8 times did the president's net approval rating rise by over 5 points. And of course, Donald Trump, right now in Gallup, minus 24 points. He's in the minus teens according to the average. If he does not see a rise of more than 5 points, see you later, that Republican majority. It has never happened. Of course, we live in such a weird time in politics.
We are in a
Who knows?
weird time.
We live in a weird time, but he's
are.
going to have to break history, Sarah Sider.
All right, we will have to see, Mr. Harry Enden.
We will see.
But you are breaking the bank. You're looking pretty good today.
I feel pretty gosh darn good, especially after my Buffalo Bills. That defense, that running back, James Cook.
All right, with your sports ball. This guy, University of Oklahoma, put trans professor on leave. Trans graduate student who did the grading, but yes, for failing an illiterate Christo-fascist student. Yes, Christo-fascist student. Interestingly, by the way, more came out about that. It turns out, it was this one, remember? The 20-year-old with the 1,000-yard stare and the Mar-a-Lago face. This one. It turns out that she's, her family is a bit of a known element in her community. Apparently her parents are extremely litigious, and her mom was like a J6 lawyer. So this whole thing was a plant from the start, to put it another way. As is so often the case with conservative outrage, it was not organic. It was orchestrated by people who make a lot of money from creating controversy. The mom of that subliterate Christo-fascist college essay bitch being a J6 lawyer has sent me to the moon. Finally, justice is done. The J6 hostages will go down as the most persecuted domestic political prisoners in history. Biden's DOJ destroyed their lives, etc., etc. Yeah, I don't know. It really does speak to the, what would you call it? The unhumanity of our enemy. There's not an authentic bone in their bodies. They really, truly do not believe in anything. That not even their outrage can be authentic. Every time you see them expressing a sincere or perceptively sincere bit of outrage, it's all fake. I think it's like they all think that everyone but them is expressing sincere outrage, but they're just trying to get in on it to cash in. Does that make any sense? Like, every one of them thinks they're the ones grifting, and everyone around them is telling the truth. So they're just contributing to a broader culture. But the broader culture itself is made up, It's like you have all those people who make up fake stories, gay people, trans people, oh, the drag queen so-and-so. And then when they get called out for lying, they're like, yeah, I was lying, but the broader thing is true. Well, no, it's not. The broader thing was also just made up of people lying. It is like recursive AI feedback, 100%. It is. Theory of mind is not their strong suit. I guess. I don't know. They're just really evil, man. It's so bad. It's all just clout to them. I'll never understand these people. I mean, there's not really a way to understand them without dealing with, you have to reconcile your desire to understand them with an acknowledgement of the fact that they're just definitionally worse than us. Because if they weren't, they wouldn't be them. Like, they could choose to not be that way, but they don't, so what are you gonna do? We'll see how the whole suit goes. The discrimination lawsuit. It is the University of Oklahoma.